Now, no matter what you want to do with ActionScript, you're going to need a function. ActionScript already contains some predefined functions like the trace statement, the addition, the multiplication, but we can easily define our own functions. To define a function, simply open up your Actions panel. Again, that is F9 on a PC and Option F9 on a Mac, or simply right-click on the frame you want to add actions on and hit Actions. Same way we type var for defining a variable, we write function to define a function. Notice it turns purple. That means that the word function is a keyword. And also the word function must be all lowercase. Otherwise, if I typed, for example, function with an uppercase F, this turns into an identifier. Then we will type the name of a function. Now, naming a function follows the same rules as naming a variable. That is, no special characters, only letters, numbers, and underscores are allowed. It cannot begin with a number. However, it can begin with an underscore sign. So I can write underscore and then my function. And that will be just fine. Then I need a set of parentheses and then a colon. Now, within this set of parentheses, I will place all the parameters that this function will need in order to execute. Similar to what we did with the trace statement, within the parentheses we set the text that we wanted this statement to execute. But however, if your function is not going to output anything, then we really don't need parameters. Just for simplicity, I'm going to use an empty set of parentheses for this example, and we'll get into defining functions with parameters in a later movie. And after the colon, we will type the nature of the value that this function will output. But since our function has no parameters, then it will not output any value. So we will write void. Void means that this function will not give us any value. It will simply execute an order. And by default, a function is set to void. So even if we did not type colon void like this, the function will still execute normally. However, if the function did give us an output and we did not type colon, then the type of the value that this function will output, then we will have an error. After these, we will need a set of braces to determine where the function begins and where it ends. Simply type the first one, hit enter, and then the next one will be automatically generated for you. And within these set of braces, I will type whatever this function will do. So let's say I want this function to add two numbers. So I will define a new variable, call it x, it's of type number, set it equal to 7. Let's say we'll define another variable, call it y, set it's of type number, and give it the value of, let's say, 19. Then we will write trace x plus y, close it off, semicolon, then also trace x times y, semicolon, and then Control Enter test your movie. And we see that we have no output. That is because the function is now defined, but it hasn't been called yet. To call a function, simply write the name of the function, which is underscore my function, and then a set of parentheses and a semicolon. If underscore my function had needed parameters to execute, then I would type these parameters within the set of braces. But since ours doesn't have any, we'll leave them as an empty set of braces. And then Control Enter test your movie. And there you have it. One more thing before I end this lesson is that I can combine both of these in one trace statement. Simply delete this one, and after x plus y I can write comma and then x multiplied by y, close the parentheses and a semicolon. Then Control Enter, there you have it. Two values are placed one next to another. So once again, to define a function, you simply write function and then the name of the function. Naming a function follows the same rules of naming a variable, then a set of parentheses. We'll get into defining functions with parameters, and then a set of curly braces. Within those we can define what the function does. And then to execute the function, we simply need to call the function by typing the name of the function and then a set of empty parentheses and a semicolon to end your statement.